Hello there, divine strategist. I'm hoping that you are having a fabulous day as you enter in listening to the Sacred Strategy podcast today. I'm wondering if you have ever whispered to yourself, I wish I could charge what she charges. Not from a place of being greedy, not because you're trying to prove something to someone, but you honestly, truly look at this coach, this healer, this badass business owner, and you are in utter awe. You might even listen to other podcasts and you hear guest speakers talk about their business and how they've grown and what their services are like. And you are inspired by them and their ability to price their offers and their products in a way that feels really delicious. And so, in that space, your heart might whisper things like, go girl, or, oh my gosh, go you. I can't believe what you're able to do. I wish I could do that. But I also wonder that deeper within you, if you might actually listen and hear a smaller, more quieter voice saying, but I can't be as audacious even if I wanted to be. I personally can't charge that. But here's the thing, though that voice might be very quiet, or it might actually be quite loud, and you might really hear yourself saying, it's amazing that that life coach can charge that, but I don't have the boldness to ever be able to do that. But somewhere within you, deep in your alignment within yourself and the soul of your business, there is actually a part of you that already knows you're meant to do so because you're picking it up in the ether. You're noticing how inspired you are. It creates some sort of emotional and body reaction, which means that there's some truth behind it and some resonance. And so your prices are actually meant to feel honoring, not heavy with doubt and angsty, like a hesitation that you might have with a crush on someone where you're constantly wondering if they like you or if you're just making the shit up and therefore you should just quiet that voice, right? No, it's here for you to honor the feelings that are rising up to the surface. Your pricing is supposed to be energizing and it's not actually supposed to be exhausting and stressful. So when you undercharge, life and business actually becomes this plain out depleting energy. Have you noticed that? You might find yourself emotionally feeling really frustrated, or you might notice that there are stories that come up that make you believe at some stage in your business that you're being taken advantage of, that you're being too generous. You might also notice that you might feel incredibly resentful or very bitter about a situation and a circumstance when you're undercharging. So at that point, you're on this verge of burning it all down. And you get to a place of feeling so frustrated or angered by the situation that you say, F it. I'm going to just start something new. I'm going to do a new offer. I'm going to start again. I'm going to create new boundaries, be stronger than ever. And you shift very quickly without consideration around what is happening at this very moment. And that the solution may be to look at your pricing and iterate the offer you already have instead of burning it all down. So I wonder if you've ever done that. I know that with my clients, I was speaking about this the other day in the mastermind business mentorship call. And they looked at me with these eyes of knowing as if I was speaking directly into their heart. And so I do consider that you also understand this feeling. So this isn't also about charging more just to charge more, right? How often have you heard people say double, triple, quadruple your price and own it and do it right now? And yes, you desire to grow and you desire to be wealthy and have well being and create impact and actually change the trajectory of your family. This is important stuff. But increasing a price without doing the work can stretch you so much that you become a nervous wreck and everything begins to fall apart in your personal life and in your business. Having those big stretches without doing the energetic and magic work actually blows out your system. And so this could look like, for example, a client saying yes to that larger investment. and therefore you being so amazed by it. And then within 24 hours, you're hit with a big ass bill or something goes wrong in life. And you think to yourself, see, this is why I can't stretch so much. This is why I can't have more money in my life. Right. And so you are perpetuating that experience and creating that reality when you charge more just for the sake of charging more. Your pricing is actually meant to come from power, from intentionality, not from patterns of people pleasing or scarcity or someone telling you just to do it for the sake of doing it. If you're constantly focused on what you believe people can afford, then you're also taking away your potential client's self agency and buying power. So, to be honest, we don't know their circumstances and what they choose to pay for. So, for example, a potential client may not see the investment quality and therefore believe they don't have the money for a monthly healing session. But they have money for two delicious dinners at five-star restaurants every month because they see the value in that. It's part of their desires and they see some sort of benefit. It's not right or wrong, a healing session or an incredible dinner. It's about understanding that a person is in need of seeing the value in something in order to be able to pay for it. And so I wonder for yourself too, how often do you say things like, I can't afford to be part of that business program? I can't afford to hire a coach, but somehow you can afford whatever else that you afford, right? And so it's not about necessarily having to budget and change where you're putting your money, but recognizing the mindset and what you tell yourself. Because once we understand this, and we understand that it's truly about valuing your own service, your offer, and your price, then all of a sudden everything begins to change, including the way in which you relate to potential clients. So, I also desire to let's see, lovingly remind you that when you make up stories in your mind about whether someone in your community can or cannot pay for your service, you are limiting their ability to transform. You're taking away their opportunity to say yes. The first important energetic root, I believe, needs to take place within a client and a coach or healer relationship is belief beyond what they believe for themselves. That is the first and foremost thing I believe in doing as a coach. And so, if I can see their life as extraordinary, I can hold a vision far beyond what they even see conceivably as possible. That is everything because that brings inspiration and that brings a sense of awe, curiosity, and wonder. And then things happen. Transformation occurs. Life changes. Business grows. And I've seen that with my clients over and over again. So that's why I personally have coaches because know that I limit myself as well because I'm human. And so when I have a coach who asks, why not Sora? Why can't you do that bold thing? Or why not you? You are amazing. And encourages me to take those leaps and go bold. I'm able to step across the threshold and go beyond what I even thought was possible. And so, as humans, we limit ourselves so much based on the constructs of society. And we're not here to expand in business growth without the support of community, without having someone else also amplify and reflect back and celebrate us and believe in our ability to be able to go beyond where we are. And so, I do believe that as business owners, we are here to be amongst community where we're being celebrated and supported, and the amplification is happening for you, and also seeing what's possible through what other folks are experiencing in their lives and their manifestation of their business as well. So let's talk about it. Why aren't you charging what that coach or healer, charges? Who is someone in your field that you admire and respect? Go ahead and notice who comes up for you. Why? What are they doing? How are they showing up? What kind of offers do they have? And who is the person whose pricing makes you pause in awe? So, all the reasons you shared are exactly why you are ready to charge more. Because if you are able to name that, then there's something within you that also matches that frequency. Now, what if you realized that your brain went straight to a different place and you started to feel hesitation or discomfort in your body? Or let's be real, maybe you even felt an utter amount of disgust at how life coaches and healers and space holders charge a shit ton of money and you just felt gross by it. My question to you is, why do you feel that way? What stories are coming up? What is your relationship with wealth and well being and money and higher pricing? And what is your relationship with investments? And that'll bring awareness to a sense of what might be happening and why there might be a struggle or a dissonance when it comes to you considering your pricing. See, for me, when I think of my coaches, like the ones that I have worked with throughout the years in my career as a business coach, I've had coaches, for example, Ellie Swift, Susan Hyatt, Rachel Rogers, Nisha Moodley, Victoria Gibson, Denise Duffield Thomas. I don't cringe at their offers and their pricing. I'm in awe. I see how money has helped them make great impact in their family, with their community, and in society. And also, as a woman of color, seeing others like me being unapologetic as F for the exchange of money that they are asking for, that is required for them to honor their brilliance, while also deeply caring about the people they serve, is so healing. It's the divine feminine spirit of business. And I know that they're badass CEOs and I admire them. I respect them. I love them. I desire to continue to move in that direction and embody that same feeling of brilliance and me honoring my medicine with that exchange of financial investments as well. So, let me go ahead and take you behind the scenes of my own business. There was a time when I deeply undercharged, so I get it. I get it, right? And there's always a stretch this happens every season when I am looking at my own business and internal growth. I believed people wouldn't pay me higher rates because they didn't see my service as valuable as someone else's. Maybe because someone had a bigger following or they had more PR. Basically, they had more proof, right? But if I'm being really honest, I didn't actually see my work as valuable within myself, or else that wouldn't have impacted me so much or been the excuse. I was second guessing my genius. And so I would water down my words. I would not show up. I wouldn't share and sovereignly sell. And I was actually even dimming the potency of my medicine when I was working with people so that I could create that reality of, oh, see, I don't create those epic types of transformations with my clients like those people out there do. So I was sabotaging myself because I wanted to help everyone, but yet at the same time, the capacity I had to help everyone was depleting. And so, if you are growing in your business, and let's say you're making that 100K consistently, you know that you are now at a space and caliber of your business where you're in need of support and systems. And that means that there is less time, higher expenses, and therefore you're barely making any profits to take home with you because all of it is going back into your business, but you're also increasing the amount of workload that you have. So yeah, it looks so great on paper or outwardly that you're making that 100K, but actually your reality is that you feel even more depleted, both time-wise and money-wise, than when you first started your business. And that's the crux, right? And so just like you, it looked like my business was doing well. I was booked out. I was really busy. I was traveling all over the place. I was in fabulous locations all over the world. I was in demand. I was being asked to speak on stage at festivals. I was being interviewed on podcasts and on summits. And I had that 100K business. That part ended up actually being easy to reach because what I did was I hustled and I worked my ass off and I kept showing up and I overextended my boundaries. I said yes to everything. I undercharged significantly and I spent most of my time serving as many people as I could. So that's how I got there, but that's not sustainable, right? And so behind the scenes to all of that, I was overgiving and I was under earning. I was under earning and I was constantly struggling and having to have cash injections over and over again, which meant that I was on limited sleep. I barely knew what time zone I was in. And I was constantly trying to fill all of my offers because I had more than one. I had like five offers I had to fill, including trainings that were live and in person. So, working three times more, four, five times more than any other person meant that I was really stretched thin. I was carrying the emotional labor of trying to prove my worth by how accessible I made myself. So, for you, you could be making 30K a year, 100K, 300K a year, and still be in this predicament because of your relationship with pricing. So here are some of the limiting beliefs I had, and I wonder if these are ones that you notice you have for yourself. If I raise my rates, people will leave. My audience isn't ready to invest at that level. What does even that mean, that level, right? I need to be more visible before I can charge that. If I make things more expensive, I'll abandon the people I care most about. I'm not far along enough to charge that yet. They won't pay that, especially in my offer. Sound familiar? Again, it doesn't matter where you are in your business stage, these beliefs can sneak up when you are expanding. But the shift came when I realized the more I respected myself, the more others respected me as well. The more I treated my medicine and my business with reverence and sovereignty, the more abundance flowed, not just for me, but for my clients too. I mean it. The more I increased my prices and found sustainability, the more my clients did as well. And they grew financially and their lives were starting to get better. They were seeing miracles happen in their life, in their business. And so, what I love now is inside of my community, for example, inside of Lush Mastermind, I don't ever hear my clients saying, I can't afford it, full stop. They have shifted into a growth mindset, and their ability to be mindful of their words is extraordinary. They're now starting to say things like, I'm looking at my budget and my financial projections so I know how I can pay for this. Or I'm going to pay in full because I can, and I'm going to get it back to full because I have now gone ahead and really doubled down in my intention, and this is going to rock my business in the most extraordinary way. Or they may say, the more I invest, the more I make. And so, yeah, damn straight, I'm going to invest more and I'm going to have a blast doing my work based on having this kind of support. Do you see what I mean by instead of saying, I can't afford it, full stop, as the first thought, instead they pause and they get curious and they're like, I'm noticing in my body that feels a little tight, but I know I can do this. And so here is the way in which I'm going to consider my feelings and my thoughts about this before cutting myself down. There is possibilities. Because when you lead from aligned value, you activate others to do the same. So when you're leading from aligned value, including alignment in your pricing, you're going to activate others to be in alignment with their own path in life and in their transformation. So, for example, one client that I have had a free magnetic messaging activation session with me. This was before she came into the mastermind. I knew instantly something had shifted. And so she stepped into her badass CEO self, even though it felt like a stretch. And then she said yes to entering the mastermind. Again, so stretchy. What was fascinating was within a week, she doubled her price. A client then said yes without blinking an eye. There was no pushback whatsoever, just an immediate, grounded yes. And the best part was that my client also released any nervous energy and stood grounded, centered, and neutral. Why? Because she learned to state her price as an act of service. She trusted that the sacred exchange would call her clients into deeper transformation, and it did. This is why pricing work isn't just a business move. It is a liberation and a reclamation, a deep anchoring into your medicine. When you overgive, you dilute your potency and your schedule fills, but your bank account doesn't. It's actually more and more depleted. It feels like you're doing well because you're booked, but you're also so confused because behind the scenes you're exhausted and you don't know where all the money is going. You're living in what I call beautiful burnout. It looks polished, it looks like you're doing well, but it's so not sustainable and it actually creates even more fear and angst. So even with a lean business, you need to pay for systems and platforms and possibly one or two team members. And people don't always realize this, right? They think, oh my God, this is so affordable. You're being so generous. This is going to help me because I can, quote, stay in this comfort of what I can afford rather than putting in extra money, stretching myself for even stretchier, bigger transformations. What people don't realize is that you have more expenses, that you need time and energy and tools to create those beautiful, seamless, supportive experiences that they're loving and that they're enjoying. And so that's not what you came here for as a badass CEO, as a coach and healer and space holder. Not at all. You're here to be of service and create that magic. So if you're ready to name your number with more power and with more presence, and really with pleasure, then I created a free resource for you. It's called I Wish I Could Charge That, and it's a 5-minute pricing portal to shift your beliefs and name your number. It is magical and it is fun. So, inside of this free gift that I have for you, you will explore the pricing mirror. Where we'll be reflecting back what might be holding you back. And there'll be this expansion exercise to help you really step into the new normal. It only takes about 5 minutes. And so, therefore, what if 5 minutes of this work transform the way that you related to pricing? Because when you stop pricing from scarcity and you really start pricing from sovereignty, your business is going to breathe a sigh of relief and gratitude. The soul of your business desires for you to be always in a space of sovereignty. All right. And then after doing that, after getting to a place of alignment and honoring your nervous system, go ahead and at least double your price. But again, we must do the energetic works first before you go off and you do that. All right, I'll speak to you soon. I hope this is helpful. Please, please, please go ahead and get that free resource. It'll be in the show notes, and I look forward to speaking with you or hearing from you very soon. Bye for now.